All right, welcome. Happy Friday. Hi, Lisa Lee. Hello, Brian, joining from Tennessee. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the live stream today. Today, we're going to be talking about 5 tips to growing your business with government contracts. And I just want to say welcome to all that are going to be joining and those who will be also watching the replay. So, in this video, you're going to learn about those 5 tips to growing a small business with government contracts. And so these particular tips are more for me aspects of growing a small business. So it'll be more like 5 aspects to growing a small business, because everybody's definition of growth is not quite going to be the same. But these are some areas and aspects that definitely, for the most part, um, the banks consider as a growing, thriving business, or a business that has promising growth, as well as like lenders and grants. Most of these things that I'm going to be covering today, pretty much is basically how those people that give you money, they look at your business, and these are some of the things and areas of growth that they actually leverage or use to determine whether or not they're going to say yes, whether or not you're going to get that extra loan or that extra grant, or whether or not, even on certification documentation, sometimes they consider a lot of these aspects that I'm going to be sharing with you all today. So welcome to the stream. Hello. And let me know where you're joining from today. So I want to say hello to Lisa Lee and to Brand and all of you who are joining. If you are joining through the Facebook group, our GovCon Insider, be sure to post your be sure to click on the link, the StreamYard link, so that I can see your name as you're coming in. Hello, joining from Birmingham, Alabama. Olu, hello. Hopefully I said your name right. So I apologize in advance if I pronounce anyone's name incorrect. Definitely don't want to do that intentionally. So today's 5 tips or 5 aspects to growing a business. And growing your business is basically is important, right? So if you're because you want to know how to grow a business or what to even measure, right, as far as your own business growth, let me know in the chat if you're here to because you want to know how to grow a small business. Just type yes. Yes, if you want to know, just type yes. Hello, YCN. Hello, Monique. Hello, from Jacksonville, says not your average AL. Lisa Lee from Arizona. Let me see. Alphage Myers. Hopefully I said that correct. Hello, Brooke and Bernadette. Fiona from Texas. Hello. Roger as well. So I am Karwana Diem, your government contract strategist. I help women and minority small business owners grow their business with government contracts. For the past few years, I have been specifically hyper targeted on helping small businesses grow their business to profitable business, specifically leveraging government contracts as the fuel, right? The vehicle is the business. The business is your vehicle for generating wealth and for growing into, of course, we want to look at it as the vehicle that's going to get you to where you want to go, right? But government contracts is the type of fuel that you can use to actually, to get there, right? To make that vehicle, drivable, right? To power it up, right? It's the difference between the cheap gas and, that premium gas. So if you're used to regular, right, then you're probably not thinking about government contracts because you drive your vehicle with regular gas. But for those who are like, they really care about their vehicle, and they really want to make sure that everything is efficient and effective for them, they're using premium gas. And so government contracts is like that illustration of premium gas, right? Because it helps your vehicle to live longer and to go longer, go further, all that stuff. So I like that analogy. I just came up with that. But definitely. So Brent says yes. Monique says I do. Everyone, let me see, Mrs. Taylor, Lakita from Detroit, hello. I'm actually going to be down in Detroit September-ish, maybe mid-September, sometimes then. So I'm actually going to be visiting down your way in the next couple months. So anyway, so today I'm going to be talking about those 5 aspects. And the reason why I thought this for today was very, very, very relevant is because, of course, you hear me talk about the strategies, you hear me talk about the systems, you hear me talk about thresholds and like all these different parts of government contracts, but rarely do I get an opportunity to talk about like the other side of business, right? How to measure your business growth and what should you be looking for, and like because in business there's so many different micro steps to building that business, right? Even starting with the foundation, like most people don't even understand all the little fundamental things that go into starting a business and building it from the ground up correctly in the first place so that your building doesn't fold, right? And so foundation is definitely going to be key. So number one on my list is going to be the first tip or aspect to determining a growing business is going to be employees, right? The reason why I say that, and I'm going to share infuse a little bit of my own experience, of course, because experience is the best teacher, right? So when I first the very, very, very first time that I actually got an opportunity to do business with the government, it was like more of a non-compete. It was a contract, but it was a non-compete contract, so I didn't have to compete for it. I got a call from an agency that was like, "Hey, this is what we need. Can you give us a quote?" We signed the purchase agreement, and then boom, I had it. I did it like that, and so but at the time, of course, most small business owners are solopreneurs. Like if you're a solopreneur, type hashtag one in the chat. So I know if you're a solopreneur, you've been running your business by yourself and you're the CEO, the chief of operations, you're the treasurer, you're the person that goes out, do the work, you're the banker, you're the everything, right? You run the whole entire business and you do it by yourself. That's how I started out. Like for several years, that was me. So when I first landed that first contract, I was actually out of town doing I had a class or a conference for like a whole week. Yeah, so look at all of our solopreneurs: Fiona, Bryn, Lisa Lee, Ruth, Faison, Pamela, Henry, all of these solopreneurs. And trust me, I know what it's like to bear the burden of a complete total business. Like it's a lot of work, and you have to do every aspect. And so that's how you become. The good thing about it though is that's how you become an expert in marketing, because you have to market yourself, building your own website because you have to build your own website, like communications and outreach, like all of those different things. Like you are it, because and so when you get ready to hire someone to do it for you, if they're playing around, if they're not doing it right, you can teach them how to do it your way and all that stuff. So we have Keistris, Patrice, YCN. I'm sorry, I cannot get that name. Bernadette, Emelisa. Hi, Emelisa. So yeah, being a solopreneur. So anyway, I was out of town, and the job was like the next day or 2 days after. So guess what? So my first thing is I'm not gonna give up this opportunity. Let me find someone local who's in the city that I know freelance to do that job for me, right? And I'll pay them. I get paid. Everybody's happy. The work is done. Boom. And so that was really my first experience in not really having an employee, but assigning and delegating a job to someone else, right? Outside of me. That was my first experience. But outside of that, I was the one who was at every job. I was the one who signed every document at every meeting, doing all the bidding and looking for things, doing all the marketing and positioning for my business. I was like many of you who are solopreneurs. And so the thing about that is with this vehicle, right? This premium gas called government contracts that makes your vehicle go efficiently and effectively and helps you to grow your business tremendously. With that, quickly my business began to grow. And before I knew it, I had multiple contracts. I had to be in multiple places at the same time simultaneously. Good problem to have, but at the same time, you begin to diminish the quality of your work because you're here, you're there, you got to be here. Now you're in two places. How do you be in two places at once? You have to grow. And so the great thing about government contracting is it puts you in a boat in a seat to where you don't have no choice but to grow and expand your team. So now you have to find trustworthy people, because not everybody is trustworthy. Trustworthy people that you can actually train to do it your way, train to deliver the quality of services the same way that you would deliver it, train to show up on time and be professional, because you have to watch out for those people, because this is what happened on that first job. Working with a freelancer, they were asking like, how did she get this contract, and can I work with you, and blah 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 blah, right? So you do have to guard your gate, right? And those are the things that we worry about as solopreneurs when it comes to your baby, which is your business, right? And so, but anyway, eventually you have to learn to trust, and you have to learn to gotta learn the legal aspects of doing business, and how to properly onboard people in advance, so that when you need them, you've already have an agreement on site. Maybe you have a non-disclosure agreement already signed, or a non-compete agreement already signed, but you're building out your team, right? So employees, whether you bring them on as hired employees, where you're paying payroll, putting them on your payroll, or independent contractors, right? So independent contractors for government contractors is like, there's so many benefits and aspects to both. When you expand into having employees, now you have payroll taxes that you can write off, right, as a business expense. When you have independent contractors, of course, you don't have to pay the payroll taxes, because they're making their money as an independent contractor. They got to pay their own payroll taxes. You don't have to pay benefits. You don't have to worry about workers' compensation and everything like that. But there's options, right? But the options are, as well, is you want to decide, you want to, maybe speak with a business, what do you call it, finance attorney, or CFO, chief financial officer, to see where you are in your business. And depending on how many revenues, they'll let you know, or they'll give you the best recommendation of whether you should have a 1099 employee, or if you should have a 1040 employee, or W-2 employee, right? And bring them on. But having employees is going to be key. So for years, I was a solopreneur, and only maybe in the last couple of years, I've been able to build my team, hire both independent contractors as well as employees. So I'm not sure if it's let me see. Pause when the stream was ended, deleting effect. Yeah, hopefully we're streaming. I don't know. I got a message that popped up that said something about something's going on with Facebook, but hopefully we're still streaming. I don't know what's going on with this Facebook thing, but okay, so we're live. All right, cool. So it's fixed. All right, cool. So anyway, so I was talking about employees, right? So having employees, that's a good indicator that you're growing beyond yourself, and you're getting so much business that now you have to expand. And these are some of the things that you have to think about. How am I going to hire employees, independent contractor or W-2 employee? How does it benefit my business overall, right? As far as, am I going to have some tax savings, some tax benefits? How is it going to help me build capacity, right? As far as, can I be in two places at once by sending a team and duplicating myself, right? All of those are growth. Those are indications that you're growing. And if you're not there yet, if you're not feeling like you're all over the place just yet, then that means you probably need to be doing something a little bit different, so that you can get there, because you want to be in a position to where you have so much work that now you're a contributor. You become a change maker. You become that person in your community that create jobs and job opportunities for other people. So now I'm actually looking for a part-time or maybe a full-time assistant. And it's crazy, because when you start off in business as a small business owner, all we think is that I have this business and it's just me. Never in a million years would I ever have thought I will be writing up job positions and hiring people and getting independent contractors. But guess what? The vehicle, which is my business, my vehicle was fueled by government contracts, which put me in a position to be able to do that. So now you're in a position to saying you are the boss, right? You are the CEO of your company. And so that's a great thing. All right. So you say, Levon, thank you. Levon says, we can still see you. Okay, cool. I'm a business owner. How can I get government contracts? So Paul, great question. What type of business services do you provide? Let me know that. So, I mean, of course, there's like, if you've been following me on YouTube for a minute, there's so many different videos that are there that's helpful to helping you understand. But definitely, we also have a coaching program where we walk you through the steps. But government contracts is not like a fly by night get rich quick thing, right? It takes time, it takes effort. You have to actually do the work. And although many of my clients are getting contracts within 3 to 6 months, they have those contracts sometimes. Depending on how organized you are, depending on how focused and serious you are, and how diligent you are in doing the work and implementing the steps that you learn, it could take you 12 months. Some people never get there because they never do the work. It's not that it doesn't work, because you can Google companies that win government contracts and see just about billions and millions of dollars of small business owners that look just like you and me, who are solopreneurs, landing those types of contracts. But the ones that don't are the ones that don't do the work, right? Or the ones that think it's easy and you can drag your feet or whatever. Let me see, how do we access the coaching program? Good question. I'll drop my link in just a moment. Notary Public and Tax. So yeah, absolutely. You can get government contracts for Notary Public and Tax. So here, let me drop my link. $1 can't spell it now. Governmentcontracts.com. If you go to that link, you can actually apply to schedule a call with my team, and they'll get all your questions answered, right? And they'll also go over like how we can help you in the program, right? And then from there, you make the decision if this is something that you want to do for yourself and for your family and for your business. But definitely, it's for sure. Oh, thank you, Stacia, for dropping the link. Yours is probably more accurate than mine. So. Sorry, y'all. I got dropped off for a second. She said that's what my business does. So we have quite a few. We have quite a few Notary Public businesses in our program, and I actually have a YouTube training on specific government contracts for Notary Public, and show you how to expand upon that. Let's see. Levon Ellis says my module 3 opens tonight. Yay! Super excited for the new content. Loving the course. Awesome. Thank you, Levon. I'm glad that you are here, going through the program, taking action, because that's what it's all about. You have to take action to get the results. Okay, so we covered number 1, like the first tip or the first aspect to determining if your business is growing, or what or ways that government contracts can help you grow in business. It can help you build capacity. Capacity means you have other workers, people who's doing, eventually you will get to the point where there's someone dedicated to doing maybe your marketing and branding for you. There's someone dedicated to maybe doing your your business taxes too. That's important, right? Because of course, although those do-it-yourself like softwares like Intuit, TurboTax and stuff, it's good when you're first starting out, but eventually you're going to grow so big you need a tax expert. It took me a long time to get to the point where I actually need a CFO. Now I have a CFO, and they're like, oh, you got too much over here, you have to invest it over there, or maybe we move some money around, or you need to pay yourself more. Having those experts behind the scenes showing you what you're doing wrong financially, and what you need to be doing, and how you should be moving your business, all of that stuff comes into play when you're growing. But first, you have to get to the point to where you are growing. And if you're afraid to try, like you got to be willing to try something new. If what you're doing and what you have been doing is not working and you've been stuck, you got to be willing to try something new. You got to be willing to take the risk and the bet on you. You have to be willing to invest in yourself, invest in yourself and the areas that you need to grow. If it's something that you don't know, take a class, get a coach, read a book, find a way to get that knowledge that you need, hire someone to do it for you. I've got to the point to where a lot of things I just hire people. I used to do it all myself, but that's an area of growth, right? Okay, so let me see. I desire to do goal setting workshops. Can I do that through government contracts? Good job. Good question. Good question. And I'm just taking a chance at your name, L5. Let me know if I said it right. L5. I don't know if I'm saying it right. So, but anyway, So yeah, so goal setting workshops, and goal setting is very, 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 very important. I say without a vision, the people perish. You have to have visions. You have to have a vision and write your goals out, and you do have to create action steps to those goals. And guess what? Not just write it out, you have to do the work, which means you have to hold yourself accountable or find someone who will hold you accountable to taking those action steps. So everywhere I am, or all the things that I've accomplished to date, it started with a goal. And then I created the action steps. And then I pushed myself to do the work, take the action in order to get the results. So that is the reason why today I'm able to have employees and have independent contractors and have a team and build capacity. And while I'm here, I have people in the field. And while I'm on like maternity leave, I'm not missing out on opportunities. I have people that are out there doing the work for me, so I can still sign contracts in my postpartum in my postpartum bedroom, whatever, right? I can still sign contracts and send the workers out there to get the work done, right? Isn't that a good problem to have? If that's something that you aspire and desire to have, let me know in the chat by typing yes. Type yes in the chat if that's a good problem that you would like to have. So let me see. So not your average AL. So yeah, so Lisa, yes. So I'm gonna wait, is my link still up? I'm sorry, I thought I had it up. So this is how you connect with me. You would apply to schedule a call. $1trillion-governmentcontracts.com. There's a short video on there that kind of overviews what government contracts is, and then there's a small application, just a questionnaire to see where you are in your business, and then from there you can book a call with my team, and then we can work together. We also have, and if you aspire to, or if you desire to, from that call with my team, you aspire to do like a consult or whatever, then they can pass the information of how you can do a consult directly with me as well. So we have all these yeses. So you aspire, so L5 aspires to be able to build capacity, grow his business. Rose, yes. We have Yellow Rose, yes. We have Levon says yes. YCN says yes. Paul says yes. Hi, Princess. Princess says yes. Ruth says yes. Ashley says yes. Lisa Lee says absolutely. All right, cool. All right, so y'all ready for number 2? If you are ready for the second tip or the second aspect to how government contracts can help you grow in business, type number 2 in the chat. Let me see. I see your yes, Toya. Type number 2 in the chat. Let me see your T. Alvina, hello. Are there government contracts for social enterprise? So, oh wait, let me see, because I don't think I answered quite your question. What was that? All the way. Your question was about vision boards. So that falls under business consulting, and yes, there are business consulting contracts. So hopefully that answers you. Alvina, are there government contracts for social enterprise businesses? Social enterprise, does that mean you have a nonprofit and you have a for-profit part to your business? You have to answer. You have to be clear. I'm not sure about your question, but what is it that you do? Like, what is your service? It doesn't matter what type of business you have. It's really the type of service that you're offering. If for nonprofits, there's very minimal opportunities for you to do government contracting. Most of those contracting opportunities will come from the local area only, because you cannot register a nonprofit for federal or state government contracts. Only the local city, if they have that program. But yeah, you have to be clear about social enterprise businesses. I don't know what that means. Usually that means you have a nonprofit and you have some type of profitable component to your nonprofit. But the question should be the service that you offer. Are there government contracts for typing experts or whatever, right? So answer that question, and I'll be happy to answer your question. So let me see. We have these number 2s. I see you, Olu, and Brand says yes. Roger and Missy, Monique, Bernadette, I see you all. Princess number 2, currently changing my business plan to schedule a one-on-one. Oh, cool. All right, cool. Ruth, I see you. See Lisa Lee. Hello, fellow notary, NSA. What's that? Oh, okay. Arizona. Okay, so cool. All right, so y'all having y'all sidebar conversations. All right, so number 2 on the list, now that you're ready, is business banking. This is another area of growth. This is another area that lets you know that you're growing in business, because now you're forced to go from having a personal bank account, right, and doing business in your personal bank account, to specifically having a business entity that has the business bank account where only business transactions are going through there. Again, that's an area or an aspect that shows how you're growing. The reason why that's important is because for various reasons. Number one, um, you're not commingling your personal funds with your business funds. That's important. Most of the things that you charge to your business account, whether you're using your debit card or whatever, are taxable, tax write off, right? So you can write them off on your taxes, like those business expenses. You can allocate certain funds to marketing, certain funds to employee payroll, whatever. So certain funds like this. This is all the things that shows that you're growing. And um, when it comes to business funding, let's just say like those business funding accounts that connect to your bank account and see how much revenues is coming in, how much money is there on a daily basis on average, right? And it automatically determines if you're going to be approved for a certain amount of a loan or whatever, or a credit line or whatever. Having that separate bank account is going to be key, right? There's so many different other aspects. Having a business bank account allows you to build business credit, which in terms allows you to be able to get even more capital, right? Business credit, lines of credit, business funding, and stuff for your business, and so many other things, right? And also, business banking allows you, depending on your bank, have a personal banking relationship with your banker, right? Who can in turn, approve you for some things because you have that relationship. They see your growth. They're able to guide you and help you grow in certain areas as well. So having business banking is going to be key. That is one of the growth aspects that government contracts can bring you. When I first started my business, I mean, it was a hot mess. it was a hot mess for a long time. I'm not going to lie. I had my personal account hooked up to the business name, and it was just a DBA, and I would be doing personal expenses plus business expenses, and it's hard to tell the difference of what's what, right? So when it comes to like all your write-offs, like if everything is confusing and mixed, then now you have liabilities, right? You've created liabilities for yourself to where everything is considered. Everything, all of that stuff is considered, right? Whether it's personal, all your personal aspects, assets are considered for whatever, for liabilities, as well as your business assets. Let me see. So somebody say, let's make sure to connect Pamela. Oh, okay. So that's Missy talking. I already opened it. Let me see. This information is so informative. Thank you, Missy. So cool. So that was number 2, right? So, and again, for those who are just joining in, we're talking about 5 tips to growing your business with government contracts. These are 5 aspects to what it looks like or what government contracts can bring you. These are the areas of growth that government contracts will bring you. It will force you to do your banking stuff right, because now you have this influx of. We're talking about a difference between, of $1,000 for maybe a customer that you just came in, to the bank and cash a check for, to $100,000 check. Now they're like, where is money coming from, right? So and it's different. So you have to separate your business from your personal bank account for all those different reasons, and that is the difference between government contracts. But then also it helps you to have money in the bank. And then when you have the business banking and you have your CFO, they tell you when to move money. They tell you need to move this over here to save you money on taxes and put it in a vehicle. That's going to make it grow, right? And so you have too much money sitting over here in this one account, then you're losing money because you're not making money. Making money, make money, right? So me and my husband has this thing we always talk about, let's make money, make money. You got to make money, make money. So good question, Rose. What's the turnaround? I'm gonna put this up on the screen. See. No, thank you, Paul says you're too informative and cool. I appreciate you. Thank you so much. Rose says, what is the turnaround time to get approved for a contract? Is different for everybody. It's different. And it depends because there's so many different aspects to getting a contract. Like I said, my first contract was a actual purchase order, right? It was like I didn't have to bid on it. I didn't have to wait on it. They just called me and asked me, can I do it next week? I signed the purchase agreement. I found somebody to go do the work and boom. So it was just that easy, and that was a quick turnaround. But some of these things require, depending on how you're approaching government contracts, which is like the different things that I teach in my program, like the different approaches, and you want to be doing a little bit of everything, right? Because it fills in those gaps and it helps you to have consistent income across the board. And so, but some of these contracts, like you have to bid on, like you look for the opportunity, you bid on it. There's a close date. There's a determination decision, right? So it can take like 6 months, sometimes a year, depending on how far out the start date. So some bids are like, hey, we're going to be starting in 30 days. So it's a quick turnaround. Some bids is like, we're not starting this project until 6 months from now, but we're trying to assign it. So it's always going to be different. And the great thing about it is because you don't have to wait to get approved or denied for a contract before bidding on the next thing. You want to bid multiple opportunities and land them simultaneously. So you don't have to go as slow as, let me put one bid in and wait and see what the decision is. So now 3 months later, they say no, and now you got to start all over. You want to keep the momentum going, so things are going to start falling into place. All right. Excuse me. So another aspect that lets you know that you're growing in business and government contracts is something that can help you get there is building business credit. Okay. And many of you probably have heard about business credit and building business credit tools like NAV, right? It's a great tool called nav.com that kind of lets you know where you stand as a business, right? You want to be able to see how are funders looking at you. These are things that comes with growth. In the beginning, when you're first starting out, you don't care how they look at you. You don't care maybe how your personal credit is showing. You don't care about what your bank account looking like, how you spending your money. But as you grow, those wealth building concepts and those things they begin to actually matter more, because now you want to know, how am I going to retire? If I put money in this account, is it going to give me a tax advantage where I'm saving money, plus I'm making money on the interest, and when I retire, I'm gonna have so much. All of those things come into play as you're growing in business, right? It's okay if you're not there yet, but you will get there, and you definitely want to be able to get there. And government contracts is the fuel that can help you get there and help you get there faster. So business credit. Ruth says, I'm super excited. I'm signing up for your program in August. Yay! So I'm excited for you as well, and looking forward to working with you as well. So business credit. So let's talk about that. So business credit is important, especially, and this is one of the things that when it comes to government contracts, all of these things that I'm talking about is important, right? All of these things. There's so many other aspects, but I'm only covering 5 of those aspects. Business credit is key. I don't care if you got to start with a Uline account or whatever. Many of you know what I'm talking about because you've attempted to DIY business credit, and you've done some things to try to get established with business credit. But business credit is so key, and I'm going to tell you how it's helped me and how it can help many of you that are out there. Let's say you're in a supply business and you have supplies. Maybe you rent equipment or supply equipment or tools, or maybe apparel like clothing items or personal items or whatever. Maybe you distribute food. I don't know. But when it comes to government contracts, sometimes you have to fund that project before you get paid, and get paid with with your up in your price or whatever, and get your profits, right? So many times, let's just say because these are real contracting opportunities that I see. Let's just say there's a contract opportunity for tuna fish, canned tuna fish, and they literally want 10 trucks full of canned tuna fish. So we're talking about a couple $100,000 worth of tuna fish, right? So many small business owners don't have the money to, don't have the 100,000, right, to go get all of this tuna fish to fill up all these trucks to deliver that, right? So where are you going to get that from? Business credit. You're going to lean on your business credit by building that business credit. So that is why um I'm covering these things, because you don't want to be stuck, because so many people see an opportunity like that and they're like, I can't do it, so let me I can't do it because I don't have the money. And then the thing becomes, oh, it doesn't work for people that don't have money, and we're the real small businesses, we just don't have the capacity to go spend 100,000 to go make a 500,000, right? What are you going to do? Your solution, right? The next time you see that opportunity, what do you think you need to do? You need to build business credit so that you can get the money. Business credit puts you in a position to have options, to have choices, to be able to go charge that, those truckloads of canned tuna fish to your purchase card or your charge card or whatever, or to your line of credit or whatever, right? Or to get your vendor account, to your vendor to be able to give you 90 days to pay it off. That is where business credit comes from. That's where business credit comes from. And even if you need to float money, there's some fintech accounts that are out there that I recently learned about just this year, and now I have them, that allows you to float your payroll, right? Let's just say you don't have money to pay your employees because you're waiting 60 days to get paid by the government before you can pay them. Now you have business credit to lean on, which gives you charge cards and all type of stuff that you can put on there. Now you have 45 days to pay that charge card off, so you can pay your employees now, and and then pay your charge card off in 45 days, right? So there's so many aspects, while in the meantime you're getting rewards because you're using those cards. Now you have like enough rewards to fly and travel for free. All of that stuff comes into play. That's those are the areas of growth. That is what doing business with the government forces you to grow in those ways. Otherwise, we're just thinking, I'm a solopreneur, I'm struggling, I don't have the money to invest in my business, and you stay stuck. I don't know how many small business owners that I see all the time stay stuck. Stay stuck because you're not thinking out the box. Stay stuck because you're not willing to invest in yourself. Stay stuck because you're not willing to take a risk on yourself, or don't want to do the work, or is waiting for someone to put it in your hand, and put it in your hand for free, right? No, it takes money to make money. That is like one of the most important things that I've learned. One of the most valuable things that I learned. It takes money to make money. But once you understand that recipe, do you not know how powerful that could be? Putting money in and seeing so much more return on your investment come out of it. That I've learned that is the lesson of life. And not doing that kept me stuck for years in business. But once I learned that recipe works, I try this, I do it there, and I do it here, and every single time I win. Every single time I win. Kid you not. So Levon says, I've been growing business credit, and it's been amazing. Yeah, because I remember when the first time the business credit concept came to me, and I'm like, what do I need business credit for? I'm a solopreneur. I already have everything that I need to do business. I don't need no money for nothing. But you do need it. You just don't know. And maybe down the line you may need it, but now you got to apply for it and wait. Apply for it, wait, and then build it out. So if you have it now readily available, when it comes time, and here's some things that you can do with business credit, is invest in business real estate, right? So it all comes into, play together. It all works together. You can use your business lines of credit to invest in business real estate and rent that out, let that money make that money. It's so many different ways to build wealth. And again, your business is only the vehicle, but government contracts can be the fuel to getting you to all of these different things. Can you see how even the three things, I think I just shared the three things, aspects of growing a business can help you really grow and build assets at the same time, and how it can work for you, and how it can work for your, just work for you towards your goal or whatever, right? That's adding to your life, not taking from. So assets versus liabilities. Anything that takes from you, anything that doesn't bring you a return, or you can't do anything with it, or whatever, those are considered liabilities. But when it comes to business growth, every area of growth, every investment that you make is an asset. It should be an asset for you. Okay. So that's awesome, Levon. Working on that now. Ashley says she's working on it now. Levon says, I wish I knew years ago. Yeah, I wish I did too. And I kid you not, when I first started building my business credit, I'm just like, go keep it 100 because I always do. When I first started building my business credit, and I knew that I can get business credit cards, business lines of credit, business this and business that, I didn't know what to do with that stuff. So I just blew it. So I had to start over, right? And rebuild that business credit all over again, which is a great thing that you can do, right? So now I'm thinking like I'm at a whole nother growth level to where I'm thinking about assets. And it's a game of chess. It really is. But you have to have the right players on your team, like your CFO, somebody who's looking out for your finances and making sure that you're investing and moving money the way you're supposed to be moving it, right? And having a coach, a business coach, somebody who can help you identify additional streams of income and how to grow your business like abundantly, right? In different ways and strategies and methods to help you think outside the box. Because we can only think so much for ourselves, but sometimes when we use other people's brain to help us think, then light bulbs go off. And that's the benefit of having like a coach. Light bulbs go off because it be things in positioning and things that you didn't talk your way out of because you don't see no way, and somebody else can shed light and say, oh, well, have you considered this? Have you considered my servant Joel? Have you considered that aspect of things, right? So anyway, hopefully this is helpful. If this is helpful, if this is helping you all, let me know in the chat that it's helpful by typing yes. Let me know. I just want to make sure that my words are not falling on deaf ears and that you're getting it, is sinking in, is valuable information to you. And that is helpful because that's really what it's all about. So I share my experience. Levon says, very helpful. Thank you. I share my experience because this is real. This is like real life stuff. Thank you. Fiona says yes. Toya says yes. This is some real life conversations. Like if you have a table of friends like me, I'm friends with everybody, but I'm a solo bolo at the same time. Like, but when I do get with my friends, like if I have events and things of that nature, guess what? My friends are business owners. They're the ones that we're talking about assets. We're talking about real estate. We're talking about business credit. We're talking about new things that's coming out. We're talking about grants that are available for small business. These are the conversations that we have. We talk about traveling. We're talking about travel rewards conversations. We're not sitting back talking about what's happening on the 5 o'clock news. I don't care about none of what's happening on the 5 o'clock news. I just want to know where I'm going to be 10 years from now when the internet goes out and the food supply is poisoned. How we going to grow some food in agriculture and getting involved in all those are conversations. I like to go deep with it, right? Thinking about legacy, thinking about family, thinking about survival, right? That those type of conversations. So if your table is not with like-minded individuals that's on the same path and they're thinking about futuristic things, they're thinking about being innovative and how to leverage your business and growth and all those things, you need to change your circle, get off of that table and go walk over to somebody else's table because that table is not going to get you anywhere. That table will have you fat and bloated on things that does not matter. Fat and bloated on nothing, right? But you want to be nourished and you want to you want to be filled up with things that you can not only learn but apply to your life. Some of these things like how do you even begin to hire an employee? Where do you even look for virtual assistants? And what platforms do you use for that? And what type of business banks do you recommend, right? Those types of conversations are because not all banks are created equal. Some banks were involved in the slave trade and apartheidism and all of this other stuff, right? And so did you even know that they have like these community funds because of that? Some banks are better than others. Especially some banks are better for businesses than others. Banks like First Navy Federal are really good for business owners, right? And there's a few others as well. So anyway, Let's see. Toya says, "My God, you speaking." Paul says, "It's real life." Yes. Fiona says, "Facts, big facts." Yes. Levon says, "Trying to get my family on board so we can have more of these conversations." And it's hard. The people that you surround yourself the most really is like family. It's so hard to change the conversation with family because like for so long we're talking about such and such you know think she got the best potato salad. we're talking about we're talking about such and such. I think she's jealous of me, my cousin, whatever. That type of stuff, right? It's hard dealing with family and trying to get your family on the same wavelength as you when you're optimistic about business and life and thinking about other things like right talking about wealth building strategies when everybody else is talking about what type of job they are not available. If a job is not available, what does that tell you? Go create your own job. In this day and time, you can sell eyelashes and make $1 million selling those eyelashes, right? There's opportunities everywhere. So don't get stuck and thinking that you have to go to work for somebody else. And so but those got but mean but start with something. Start with maybe life insurance. Let's talk about how we're going to build a legacy with life insurance in our family. How can we're not trying to kill you, but do you we're not trying to kill you early, right? But do you have life insurance? Okay. And how is it set up, right? Who are your beneficiaries, right? Because those are conversations that we never have. It's like taboo in a black family, taboo. And then so when someone the loved one passed away, you don't know if they had a life insurance policy, you don't know who the beneficiary, somebody that stole some money and all of these fur coats, like real fur stuff, and diamond rings disappear. Don't nobody know where nothing is, right? The legacy's lost. But when you have those type of estate planning conversations with your family, it's important. Sometimes you gotta keep doing it until it sinks through. Life insurance is not just for burial, right? It's for retirement. You can have living benefits. Did you not know that? That you can take out. You can buy a house with your life insurance policy. You can pay for education with your life insurance policy. You can retire from your life insurance policy. You can actually take out a loan from your life insurance policy if you set it up right. You can take out a loan to start a business. There's all different things that you can do with that. But the conversation is, do you have it in the first place? And do you have enough? Do you have more than just for burial? And what kind of life insurance do you have? Do you have a $10,000 burial plot? Or do you have a $500,000 whole life policy to pay off your house? That your 30-year mortgage that you may not have 30 years left on your life. And so your kids are good, plus they got money. And is that money allocated to education, business, doing certain things, right? Estate planning is key. So anyway, Toy says that's my field. So I'm talking right. Like, but guess what? 10 years ago, maybe 10 years ago, I wasn't having these conversations. Maybe 10 years ago, I didn't even know about that type of stuff. I wasn't even thinking these kind of ways. And again, life insurance is a tax advantage, so it's a part of business. You can write that policy in your business name. Now your business have a policy on you or whatever, however that happens, that you can actually write off. Right? It's called a executive bonus plan. That's what it's called. So anyway, and maybe Toy can tell you more about that. That's not my expertise. It's just a little bit of something that I know. These are all the wealth conversations that I have with my circle on the table. And these are all the areas of growth as a business owner. I had to consider putting all these things in place, right? Or otherwise, before then, I was trying to figure out, well, what happens? What's going to happen at the end of my life? What's going to happen to my kids? Or do we have assets? We ain't got nothing passed down, none of that stuff. But as you grow in business, you grow as an individual, you grow as a person, and you just grow, period. But it starts with something. What is your vehicle? Is it your business? Most of you have a small business, so your business is your vehicle. So now we got to think about, what is your fuel? What are you going to use to fuel your business to help you get all of these things in order so that you can have these conversations with your family and so that you can secure your future? We got to secure our own futures, because Social Security is not going to be here. It's not a secret. We can't depend. I mean, I don't know. Have you seen your Social Security letter that comes once a year? It says like, oh, you're going to get $300 a month for the rest of your life or whatever. That ain't nothing. Who can live off that? So anyway, Tiffany says, this is my first time viewing and you are so informative. Thank you. You're welcome, Tiffany. And thank you for being here. So anyway, all right. So next on the list is tax advantages, the write-off. So I kind of infuse tax advantages throughout, but definitely all of these things, all of these aspects that I'm talking about are tax advantages. But when it comes to like growing in business and being it, when you start getting those half, a quarter, $1 million contracts, $250,000 contracts, and multiples of them, your business is going to grow so fast. You're going to want to know, at least you should be thinking about ways to save money on taxes. Because, you know, there's a saying that says the more you owe, the more they take, or the more you grow, or the more you make, the more they take. That's it. The more you make, the more they take, right? So how, as a business owner, when you're growing, you want to sit back and think about, how can I keep more money in my household, right? So and so that's considered, what are my tax advantages? How do I, keep tax advantages? Payroll taxes. We talked about employees. That's a tax advantage, right? Investing in life insurance, your executive bonus plan. Those are tax advantages. Investing in 401ks and like self-driven, SEP IRA. Those are tax advantage accounts, because the tax advantage means you put it somewhere safe. It's not going to be taxed until maybe later, if then, right? Or maybe you can tax now at the lower rate, but then put it in a tax advantage vehicle to where it's growing, and all that growth is non-taxable, which is going to save you so much money down the line, right? And if you don't understand tax advantage, find an expert, right? That lets you know, now I need to bring on a tax advantage expert. Someone can help me understand how money really works. Because if you don't understand how money really works, you're losing money. Like, we got leakages in our pockets all the time, and we don't understand it because we don't see it. All we see is we got a card to swipe, we taking out money to spend that. But sometimes we go to the store, we swipe your card so much you don't even know your account is negative. I've been there. Then you got bank fees, right? All of those things. And so being accountable with your money and understanding tax strategies and how money works. Did you not know that the same way that you get a credit card, let's say you got a $2,000 credit card, by the end of the day, your credit card is never paid off and you spent $20,000. How the heck you give $20,000? How the heck you owe $20,000 on a $2,000 credit card? It's called compound interest. So let's just say you default. There's compound interest, and it's interest on top of interest plus fees and all of this stuff. The same way that banks make money on us, we have the ability to make money on our own money, right? So if you put your business, your money in certain bank accounts, like going back to the bank accounts and understanding how banks work, certain bank accounts will give you 0.000002 interest, right? Which means if you have $250,000 sitting in the bank, at the end of the year, your interest may be $5. Your interest may be $5. You have $250,000 sitting in the bank for 12 months that you ain't never touched, and all they gonna give you is $5. Real for real. However, there are bank accounts, and if you go to bankrate.com, there are compound interest bank accounts, and some of these bank accounts have business banking as well. If you put your $250,000 in that, your interest is minimum 3 to 4% interest or something like that. It is, and it varies. I've seen them all the way up to like 5% interest, and it calculates daily. So day one, you got interest. Day two, that interest turns on top of interest. Then day three, that interest turns on top of interest. So every day, your interest is compounding. So at the end of a certain period of however many years, you're going to triple, quadruple, and quintuple the money that you had sitting in the bank. So how does money work? You have to understand that. That is what government contracts puts you, it forces you. That's an aspect of growth. It makes you start to think about these things, understanding tax advantages, understanding how to make your money, make money, how it works for you. That's what separates the rich from the poor, right? We don't think about those things because we don't even know that those things are happening or that they exist. We don't understand the value of a dollar and the value of our hard work to make that dollar. All right. But you want to get to the point to where you're growing and your money is growing, and then you're putting your money in tax advantage accounts that's making it grow even more. And now your money is working for you, and you can sit back like Bill Gates and all the rest of them that knows these things, and be traveling, sitting on a beach somewhere while your money is working for you. You no longer have to work a single day in your life if you don't want to. So a 5 says, will I be able to watch this again? I'm at work and I really want to hear all that you have to say. Yeah. So yeah, it'll be the replay. You'll be able to see the replay as well. So anyway, I've been talking, y'all. Let me drink a little bit of this water. Let me see. So tax advantages, conversations. You want to get with girlfriends and homegirls that talks about tax advantages, that are experts in the area of tax strategies, and how to save money and make money and all those different things. I'm not talking about bitcoins, like those are risks, like certain investments are like high risk, but I'm just talking about the advantages part of savings and where to put your money to make it grow and to pay as little tax as possible while your money is growing and will never be taxed again. That type of stuff. Okay. So anyway, y'all ready for number let's see, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this is the fifth. This is the fifth aspect to growing your business with government contracts. The fifth, one of the fifth areas. And all of these things, like I said, all of these things that I've been talking about are kind of intermingled and tied together, and they're all related. So number 5 is asset building, assets versus liabilities. I've been talking about that in between, right? Asset building. So as you grow in business, you're no longer thinking, oh, let me go get these heels and this purse that I've been wanting that costs $600, red bottoms for $1,000. You're not thinking about that type of stuff no more. Hopefully, you do, but you don't, right? Let me go get this diamond ring. Diamonds are assets, right? Because it doesn't lose value. But asset building, you're not thinking about, oh, when I get my taxes, let me go buy this car that's going to lose value as soon as I leave off the lot and continue to lose value in every single day for the term of the car, right? It's going to lose value. But an asset, unless it is something like a collector's item that actually maintains value and actually grow in value, that's an asset. Those are different, right? So what are you spending your money on? Or do you have a plan, right? And it's nothing wrong, because in the beginning, we don't understand these things. So of course you get money and you blow it on things that means absolutely nothing, things that you're not going to even be wearing, things you're going to stuff in your closet. Ask me how I know. Ask me how I know. Things that are going to be sitting in your driveway, right, with no value, that has absolutely no value. So you're going to transform as your business grow. You grow mentally, spiritually, emotionally. You grow fundamentally. All these things grow together. So now you're starting to think more like assets. Okay. When you're investing in real estate, if you haven't purchased your first home where you live in, what would be the first type of real estate you want to purchase, right? Strategically, rental property. Because guess what? You can use your rental property to fund your live-in primary residence, right? And so those are assets. Real estate, gold bars, silver, like, maybe collectors vehicles that are going to maintain its value, whatever. But in investing in those things, those assets, land, minerals, right? Those are asset building things that when you valuate, just like you can do a valuation of your business, and it'll tell you based on all of these things that you input and the monies that's been going through your account. This is the valuation of your business. Like we consider you to have $1 million worth of value in your business, right? You can value your life. What are you worth? What do you have? Do you have any assets? And that within itself is insurance. It's insurance and it's assurance as well. So assets and asset building is something that you can start thinking about when you start getting those $500,000 contracts, growing to a multi-million-dollar business, even growing to a multiple six-figure business. Now you're in a position to be able to build assets. That's important. understanding what are you going to do with your money. You don't want to just get it and spend it, right? That's I mean, it doesn't make sense to do that. That's like a waste of time. Get it and spend it and it's gone. So, but although some people, that's just what they want to do. They want to blow everything while they're alive and enjoy while they're alive. But you're in a position when you're using government contracts as the fuel to fuel your business, to power your business, to help you grow. You want to think about your generations, like your children's children, children. What's going to be passed down from families to families to families, and no longer and breaking the generational curse of not having property assets, not having nothing to pass down. And my parent gave me this, and this is the collection of diamonds, that's passed down and is valuable over the years. These are minerals that will never deteriorate or never diminish in value, or whatever. And so anyway, asset building is going to be key. In your business, you can use your business to build assets, right? Not business to go out to eat every day, but business to build assets for the future. So that when you get ready, if you get ready to retire, or if that's something that you want to do, when you're too old to work, when you're too old to work, like, what do you have to sit back on? I mean, do you have to pay a mortgage? You shouldn't. If you work hard now, you don't have to do that later, right? You shouldn't have to pay a mortgage. All you're paying is your annual taxes on your land. That's it. And so, but anyway, hopefully this has been good. Hi, Coco from Orlando, checking in. Glad I caught the end of the show. Thank you for this info. You're welcome. All right, cool. All right, so anyway, those are my 5 tips to growing a business with government contracts. Most likely, or more so, like the 5 aspects to how government contracts can help you grow in business. And these are just some of the things, right? These are some of the thoughts. There's so many other aspects to a growing and thriving business. And these are all things that show that you're not only growing in business, but you're growing as a person as well. And your wealth is growing. And the way that we think about wealth and asset building and growth and development and all that stuff is growing together, right? It's different. So with that said, that is my those are my 5 tips for today. Hopefully this has empowered you to start thinking about who's at your table. Who are you having a conversation with? What people are in your circle? And if you don't have a circle, who to start looking for in your circle who can help strengthen you in these areas of growth. All right. So hopefully remember what I said, to keep your dreams ignited, because many of us have had these dreams for so long to maybe be entrepreneurs, and maybe someone told you it's not possible. Maybe someone told you no. Maybe someone discouraged you and said, well, who do you think you are? All those little different things. And sometimes I've even literally have heard business owners discourage themselves. Right? You give them some advice, try this, and they say, oh, they don't want that. Well, who is they? And how do you know? And have you tried it? So sometimes we speak things, and be careful what you speak, because words have power. And I know that this is not the only setting that you've heard that, but words really do have power. So you always got to be speaking life into your situation, regardless of what it looks like. It doesn't matter if somebody said no, that doesn't mean it's impossible, because nothing is impossible. Only what you make it and what you think is impossible. When you think it, when you have accepted that, then it's impossible, because you've accepted that in your spirit. But so a lot of times, our dreams become deferred. So remember to keep your dreams ignited. How do you ignite your dreams? Always, connect with positive people who are innovative and who think outside the box and can help you just stay motivated, right? So remember to keep your dreams ignited. Know your worth, right? And know that you are willing, you are willing to invest. Your willingness to invest in yourself is for you. This is a you thing. This is a benefit for you. And it's all about you, right? It's all about you investing in yourself, because you believe in yourself, and you're going to be the one to take action, because now you made this investment. Now you got to take action to get the results, right? Never take no for an answer. And lastly, this is my favorite line that I've been saying for the past few years: live life by design, not by default. Live life by design means you're the designer. You're the author and finisher. Of course, God is the author and finisher of all of our stories, but you're the author of your life. What are you going to write in your book about you and where you're going? What is your path? What do you see for yourself? Live life by design, not by default. Not because, don't live because there's a pandemic and I can't do nothing and I need to sit down because all we got is this PPP loan or whatever is out there, but not by default. Now I got fired. Now I'm going to sit down and collect unemployment insurance. Live life by design. How are you designing your life? Don't live by default, because default will have you stuck, and it will have you stuck all the time because there's always something happening. There's a pandemic. There's a deviant, a variant, a variant version, and then there's hunger, and then there's all this chaos in the world. If you're living by default, you will be not only stuck, depressed, and full of anxiety, all those things. So I'll always be like, well, what's happening in the world is not happening in my life, because I'm designing the life that I want to live. So anyway, hopefully this was helpful for you all. For those of you, thank you, Levon. For those of you who are interested in learning how to do this government contracting thing, so you want to power your vehicle with the premium gas so that you can actually start growing in all of these other areas, as a business owner and as a person or whatever, you can apply to work with me at $1,000,000governmentcontracts.com. $1,000,000governmentcontracts.com is where you go. Looking forward to seeing you all maybe next week. And thank you so much for your time. Peace. Have a good weekend. Have a great weekend. All right.